Have you ever thought that the change jingling in your pocket, the coin sitting at the bottom of your car, or even that old jar of pennies in the kitchen could be hiding a life-changing fortune? What if I told you that one ordinary-looking Lincoln penny from 2020, yes, a modern coin still in circulation, has turned into the jackpot of all jackpots, with a current market value estimated at over $7.2 million? That's right, a single 1-cent coin that most of us wouldn't even bother to pick up off the ground has made headlines across the world, changing the life of one lucky collector overnight. Now, you might be wondering how in the world a coin minted so recently, something as common as a 2020 Lincoln cent, could possibly skyrocket in value to the kind of number usually reserved for sports cars, luxury mansions, and lottery wins. But that's the magic and mystery of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story has a twist so shocking it takes the entire numismatic community by storm. So let's dive deep into this tale of the million-dollar penny. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history since 1909, introduced to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It has seen countless design changes, mint marks, errors, varieties, and special issues over the decades. But the 2020 penny seemed like just another year of circulation, with billions minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities. Nothing unusual, nothing flashy, right? Wrong. Because hidden within those billions, a tiny fraction of coins left the mint with a flaw so rare, so incredible, that it turned a single cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now here's where it gets wild. The coin in question was discovered not by a professional dealer or a millionaire investor, but by an everyday person going about their normal routine. Imagine buying a soda, getting a handful of change, and realizing that one penny looks a little off. At first glance, it's just a 2020 penny. But on closer inspection, this 1 cent revealed a dramatic minting error that had never been documented before. Experts believe this coin was struck on a planchet that was never meant for circulation. Some numismatists speculate that it could have been struck on a leftover experimental blank or even a transitional metal that slipped through quality control during production. Others point to doubling on the obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's portrait shows extreme doubling visible even without magnification, making it instantly recognizable. The coin was authenticated by one of the leading grading services, and that's when the story exploded. Graded in pristine condition, it was placed in a protective holder and sent to auction. Bidding was intense. Collectors from around the globe wanted to own what was being hailed as the discovery of the decade. And when the hammer finally fell, the price stunned everyone in the room. $7.2 million. For a 1-cent coin from 2020. Think about that for a moment. That's a penny worth more than some of the most expensive cars in the world. More than a private island. More than most people will earn in a lifetime. And the most shocking part? It was found in circulation. Meaning, right now, as you watch this video, there could be more of these valuable pennies floating around in pockets, cash registers, tip jars, and piggy banks just waiting to be discovered, and this is why coin collecting is so thrilling. It's not just about old coins from the 1800s or rare gold pieces locked away in museums. Treasure can be hiding in plain sight, right under your nose. A simple trip to the grocery store or a handful of change from the gas station could be your ticket to life-changing money. Now, let's talk about why people are willing to pay so much for a coin like this. First, rarity. There's nothing that drives value in the coin world more than scarcity. If only 1 or 2 examples of this mint error exist, then the price goes through the roof. Second, condition. This particular coin was not only rare, but it was also in virtually flawless shape, which makes it even more desirable to collectors who dream of owning the best of the best. Third, the hype factor. When word spreads that a new discovery has been made, especially one involving a coin that everyone thinks they might have, demand explodes. Everyone wants a piece of the action, but here's the exciting part for you, the viewer. The possibility that more of these coins are still out there is very real. Billions of 2020 pennies were produced, and not every single one has been checked under a magnifying glass. That means your next handful of change could contain the jackpot. And it doesn't just stop at 2020. Throughout history, error coins and varieties have been surfacing decades after they were minted. From double die errors to off-center strikes, from transitional metals to experimental pieces, collectors are constantly uncovering treasures long after the coins first entered circulation. So what should you do if you want to start searching? First, don't overlook your pennies. While most people toss them aside, coin collectors know that pennies can hold some of the biggest surprises. Get yourself a good magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Start learning about error coins, especially those from modern years like 2017, 2019, and of course, 2020. Check for doubling, unusual coloration, odd weights, or anything that just doesn't look right. And if you think you found something special, don't be afraid to reach out to a professional grading service. You never know, your penny could be the next multi-million-dollar headline. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about money. It's about possibility. It's about the thrill of discovery. It's about knowing that history, luck, and fortune can collide in the most unexpected places. A penny that most people would step over in a parking lot is now a $7.2 million masterpiece. And that should inspire you to take a second look at the coins in your hand. So the next time you're about to toss your change in a drawer, stop and think. What if? What if that little copper-colored coin is the key to a new life, to financial freedom, to a story that the whole world will talk about? Because if one person can become rich overnight thanks to a 2020 Lincoln cent, there's always the chance that you could too. Stay curious, keep hunting, and remember, treasures are out there. Sometimes, all it takes is one penny to change everything. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coins and treasures hidden in plain sight. Imagine reaching into your pocket, grabbing a handful of change, and discovering that one of those simple brownish 1-cent coins you almost ignored is worth a fortune, not just a few hundred or even a few $1,000s, but a life-changing $7.7 million. That is the shocking reality surrounding a 2016 Lincoln cent that is reported to have surfaced in circulation and has been valued at an absolutely staggering amount of money. A single penny, a coin we normally overlook, could turn someone into a millionaire overnight. The Lincoln cent has been in our lives for over a century. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it has gone through countless design changes, minting variations, and composition updates. Over the decades, collectors have learned to look for errors, low mintage dates, double dies, and strange varieties that turn an ordinary copper or zinc penny into something worth keeping forever. And here we are today, still learning that even modern pennies, coins struck in just the last decade, can end up being worth sums of money you would never believe unless you saw it yourself. Now let us talk about this 2016 Lincoln cent, minted in Denver, a coin that most people would simply toss into a change jar or spend without a second thought. Millions upon millions were made, yet one specific example has broken all expectations. This coin, still in circulation until recently, was pulled out and examined more closely. The details, the rarity of its condition, the potential errors present, and the demand from high-profile collectors all combined to skyrocket its value to the unimaginable level of $7.7 million. Yes, that is right, $7,700,000 for 1 cent. What makes this story so incredible is that it reminds us of the hidden value of ordinary things. Think about it. You walk into a grocery store, buy something small, get change back, and there it is, a coin that could erase debt, buy a house, buy a dream car, or set up your future forever. We are talking about the kind of transformation people dream about. Overnight you are no longer worried about bills or expenses, because a single penny in your pocket turned into millions. And this is not some myth or legend. This is the power of coin collecting, the power of numismatics, and the magic of paying attention to details. So what exactly could make a 2016 Lincoln cent so rare? Collectors and experts believe it could be tied to an extraordinary mint error, perhaps a unique die variety, or maybe it is a coin that survived in pristine condition against all odds. In the world of coins, perfection is everything. A coin that is struck slightly off, or one that has doubling, or even one that has the sharpest detail without any scratches, can instantly become a target for wealthy collectors who will pay any price to own it. And when wealthy collectors compete, the value shoots higher and higher until we are talking about prices that most of us could never imagine for a coin we use to buy candy. The fascinating thing is that coins like this are out there. They are not locked away in vaults or hidden in museums alone. They circulate. They move from person to person, hand to hand, store to store. That means anyone can find them. That means you, watching this video, could be the next person to stumble upon a penny that changes your life. This is why collectors spend time searching through rolls of coins from the bank, why treasure hunters dig through their change jars, and why we talk about these stories. It is because the next millionaire could be the person who pays attention. Imagine sitting down tonight, pouring out the change from your wallet, and lining up the pennies one by one. You see the usual years, 2012, 2018, 2005, maybe a few 1980s coins. Then suddenly you notice a shiny or unusual looking 2016 D. At first you think nothing of it. But then, because you saw this video, you take a closer look. Maybe you use a magnifying glass or even your phone camera zoom. And then you notice something strange about it, something that doesn't look like the others. At that moment, you might be holding $7.7 million in your hand. That is the thrill, the rush, the magic of this world. Collectors often say that coins are history you can hold in your hand. But this 2016 cent is not just history. It is wealth, it is opportunity, it is a reminder that fortune can hide in the smallest places. How many times have people tossed pennies into fountains, dropped them on sidewalks, or left them gathering dust in jars? And yet one penny could make someone rich beyond their wildest dreams. Think about that for a second. All it takes is awareness, curiosity, and a little patience to check. The lesson here is clear. Never underestimate the power of a penny. Do not ignore those small coins. Each one tells a story, and sometimes that story ends with millions of dollars. So next time you have change in your hand, slow down. Look at the year. Check the mint mark. Notice the details. Because if a 2016 D can reach $7.7 million, who knows what else is out there waiting to be found. So here is your challenge. After this video ends, go grab your change, your piggy bank, your coin jar, your purse, or your wallet. Search through those pennies. Look carefully at every 2016 D you find. Who knows, you might just discover the one coin that changes everything. And when you do, remember this moment, because you were told the story of the $7.7 million Lincoln cent, the penny that made someone rich overnight. Today we are diving into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coin collecting. Imagine this. You walk into a store with nothing more than a handful of change in your pocket. You look down, and there it is, a single Lincoln cent. A penny most people would never even glance at twice. But what if I told you that penny in your hand could be worth over $7.2 million? Yes, you heard that right. $7.2 million for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. And it is not a fantasy or a rumor. We are talking about the 2014 Lincoln penny, a coin still in circulation today, a coin that could literally be sitting in your change jar, in your wallet, or under the cushions of your car seat right now. The Lincoln penny has always been a coin full of secrets, mysteries, and stories that have changed people's lives forever. Since 1909, when the Lincoln cent first entered circulation, collectors have been chasing after rare varieties, minting errors, and hidden gems. But every once in a while, one of those coins breaks through the ceiling of what anyone thought possible. And that is exactly what happened with the 2014 penny that shocked the entire numismatic world. A single 1-cent coin, from a year that most of us would not even think twice about, sold in the current market for $7.2 million. Now, how does a penny jump from face value to millions of dollars? The answer lies in the details. Every coin tells a story, and every minting process comes with the chance for something unique to happen. It could be an error in the die. It could be an unusual metal composition. It could be a rare strike or an experimental minting that slipped into circulation without the world knowing. For the 2014 penny, all the conditions lined up to create one of the most valuable cents of modern times. Experts have said that this coin was struck under a rare set of circumstances that left it unlike any other penny from that year. And when collectors discovered it, they knew instantly that they were holding something extraordinary. Just think about it. You could be walking through your normal day. You stop for a coffee. You get your change back. You do not even look twice at the coins in your hand. But right there, buried among the dimes and nickels, could be a single copper-colored penny with the potential to change your entire life. It only takes one find to go from ordinary to extraordinary, from everyday life to being worth millions. That is the true magic of coin collecting and why so many people across the world are searching their change every single day, and let's talk about that number again. $7.2 million. That is not just money. That is life-changing wealth. That is paying off every single debt you could imagine. That is buying a dream home, a fleet of cars, setting up your family for generations, or traveling the world without ever looking at a price tag again. To think that all of that could come from a single cent. It almost feels unreal, but this is the reality of the coin world. Now, some of you might be wondering how to identify a 2014 penny that could carry this kind of value. While the exact coin that hit the market and sold for millions had a unique and specific set of traits, collectors recommend that everyone keep their eyes wide open. Look for unusual features. Look for doubling in the lettering, unusual coloration in the metal, or a coin that just feels a little different compared to the others. Even the smallest difference can sometimes mark the line between an ordinary penny and a fortune waiting to be discovered, and do not think for a moment that this is the only modern coin to hit sky-high values. In the past, pennies from 1943, 1955, 1969, 1972, and 1992 have shocked the world with prices that reached into the hundreds of thousands and even millions. The 2014 Lincoln penny simply takes this to a whole new level. It is living proof that modern coins still hold secrets, and the hunt is far from over. Coin collecting is not just for experts. It is not just for historians or people with magnifying glasses sitting in a room full of old coins. It is for anyone and everyone who takes a moment to look at the change in their pocket and asks the question, what if? Because that what if could become a life-changing reality. And right now, the spotlight is shining brightly on the 2014 penny. So the next time you get change at the gas station, the grocery store, or even from a vending machine, do yourself a favor. Take a moment. Look at every penny closely. Check the date. Look for anything unusual. Because you never know when you might be holding one of the most valuable modern coins in history. Imagine the story you could tell if you pulled a coin from circulation worth millions of dollars. Imagine the headlines. Imagine your life completely transformed by a penny that no one else noticed. This is why the 2014 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of possibility. It is proof that treasures are still out there waiting to be found by ordinary people like you and me. You do not need to be rich to start searching. You do not need special connections. All you need is curiosity, patience, and the willingness to look, and maybe, just maybe, the next penny you find will not just be worth 1 cent. Maybe it will be the key to your millionaire story. $7.2 million. One coin. One chance. One life-changing discovery. Keep your eyes open, keep your hands ready, and never underestimate the power of the Lincoln cent. Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable stories in the entire world of coin collecting, and trust me, you do not want to miss a single second of this, because we are talking about a penny that has turned the entire coin community upside down. A single Lincoln 1-cent coin minted in 1982 that has been valued at an astonishing $5.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $5.2 million for a coin that most of us would Walk past or drop on the ground without a second thought, so get ready, because by the end of this video you will be looking at every single penny in your pocket change with brand new eyes. Now let's set the stage. It was the year 1982, a year that stands out for one huge reason in the world of US coinage, because this was the year the US Mint changed the very metal composition of the Lincoln penny. Before 1982, pennies were struck from 95% copper, but due to rising copper prices the Mint made a dramatic shift to copper-plated zinc pennies starting in 1982. And here's where things get interesting, because that year saw multiple varieties produced. You had small date and large date designs, you had copper and zinc compositions, and you had mint marks from different facilities like Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. And with all of these changes happening, mistakes were bound to be made, and it is those mistakes that collectors hunt down because they can be worth life-changing amounts of money. Now imagine this one particular 1982 penny slipped through the cracks, struck under unusual circumstances with a mix of qualities that simply should not exist. Experts believe it was an experimental strike that combined the wrong metal planchet with the wrong die alignment, and the result was a coin that was not only unique but virtually impossible to replicate, and that is why it has been dubbed the $5.2 million Lincoln cent. Think about that for a second, just 1 cent in your hand, one single coin that could make you richer than winning the lottery overnight. And here's the kicker: this coin did not sit in a museum or in some vault for decades. It actually circulated for years, just like any ordinary penny. It passed through cash registers, it jingled around in pockets and purses, it sat in coin jars, maybe even dropped into vending machines, no one realizing that they were holding a multi-million-dollar fortune disguised as the most ordinary coin in America. Now when this coin finally came to light, the numismatic community went wild. Certified grading services authenticated it, and it quickly set the record for the most valuable Lincoln cent ever sold. Imagine walking into an auction house with something worth more than most mansions and watching collectors battle each other to own a single 1 cent piece. The final hammer price, $5.2 million, making it the ultimate treasure hiding in plain sight. And here's the important part: this story is not just about one lucky find. This story is about opportunity that every single one of us has right now. You might be thinking, well, my pennies are just loose change sitting in jars or rolling around the floor of my car. But what if one of those coins is hiding a rare variety? What if one of those pennies is the gateway to your own $1,000,000 discovery? Because the 1982 penny was a transitional year. There are still countless varieties floating around in circulation, some worth hundreds, some worth thousands, and some like this legendary coin worth millions, and they are all out there right now. Collectors have identified 7 main varieties of 1982 cents: large date copper, small date copper, large date zinc, small date zinc, and the rare transitional errors where the wrong metal was used. And if you know what to look for, you could be holding history in your hands. All it takes is a simple scale to weigh your penny. Copper cents weigh about 3.1 grams, while zinc cents weigh about 2.5 grams, and once you start weighing and examining those details, you may just find yourself staring at a fortune disguised as a common coin. Now imagine the rush, the heart-pounding excitement of realizing that tiny piece of change you picked up off the ground could pay off your house, your debts, your car, or even buy you a dream home on the beach. That's why so many people are digging through their jars and checking every single penny that comes their way, because stories like this prove it is possible, and it has already happened. So the big takeaway here is never underestimate the power of change. The coin you think is worthless might actually hold a secret that could change your life forever. The 1982 penny that sold for $5.2 million is the ultimate example of hidden treasure in plain sight, and it is the reason collectors and treasure hunters alike are obsessed with searching every single day. So next time you get pennies in your change at the store, do not just toss them aside. Take a closer look, check the date, weigh the coin, examine the details, because you never know, you might be holding a piece of history that could make you rich overnight. The $5.2 million Lincoln cent is proof that these discoveries are real and they can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. And if you enjoyed this story and you want to learn more about other pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters that could make you a fortune, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because we have countless stories to share, coins hiding in circulation that could be worth thousands, even millions, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. So the question I leave you with today is this: what if your next penny is the one? What if the coin you have right now in your pocket or sitting in your piggy bank is the key to changing your life forever? There is only one way to find out, and that is to start looking. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable coin stories you will ever hear. We are talking about a simple Lincoln penny, a 1 cent coin from 1980, that has stunned collectors, shaken up the coin world, and is making headlines because its current market value has reached a jaw-dropping $7.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, a 1-cent coin in circulation worth nearly $8 million. Imagine holding something in your pocket, a coin that most of us ignore, drop on the ground, or even toss in a jar, only to find out it could change your entire life overnight. That is the magic of rare coins, and especially Lincoln cents. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most collected and studied coins in American history. Introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, it has gone through several design changes, minting errors, and varieties over the decades. But the 1980 Lincoln penny is not usually the year people rush to check. Most collectors focus on the 1909 SVDB, the 1914D, the 1955 double die, or the 1969 S double die. Yet here we are in 2025 with the shocking news that a 1980 penny has surfaced and changed the game. What makes this coin so extraordinary? It is not just the age. Remember, 1980 feels fairly recent. These coins were minted in the billions, and most of them are still floating around in circulation today. You probably have a few 1980 pennies sitting in your change jar right now. But this one coin is different. It comes down to a rare minting error combined with pristine condition. In 1980, pennies were still being made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc. That alone makes them more valuable than face value because copper prices have gone up. But the coin that has shocked the world was struck with a double die obverse, a dramatic doubling that makes Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions on the front stand out in a bold, unmistakable way. On top of that, this particular coin was preserved in flawless condition. No scratches, no circulation wear, no discoloration. Graded at the highest possible level by professional coin grading services, it has become a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Now here is where it gets even crazier. This coin started off as just another penny in circulation. Someone had it in their pocket. It went through everyday life, unnoticed, until a sharp-eyed collector spotted the unusual doubling and decided to send it for authentication. When the grading results came back, the value shot through the roof. Collectors began bidding, the coin went to auction, and before anyone could believe it, the hammer price skyrocketed to $7.9 million. That is a record-breaking number for a Lincoln cent, and it has made the lucky finder an instant millionaire. Think about that for a moment. A penny that was minted in 1980, a coin that could have easily been used to buy a piece of candy or tossed aside, is now more valuable than most luxury homes, sports cars, or even entire retirement accounts. This is why people are suddenly paying closer attention to their pocket change. If a 1980 penny can be worth nearly $8 million, what else is hiding in plain sight? Let's put this into perspective. There are over 300 billion Lincoln cents in circulation today. The majority are worth face value, just 1 cent. But sprinkled among them are rare varieties, errors, and condition rarities that can turn a handful of change into a life-changing discovery. For decades, treasure hunters, hobbyists, and collectors have been searching through penny rolls, coin jars, and bank boxes, hoping to find the next big discovery. And this 1980 penny proves that the dream is alive and real. So what should you be looking for in your own coins? First, always check the date and the mint mark. The 1980 penny was minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with no mint mark or a small d under the date. Rare double die examples are extremely hard to find, but you never know until you look closely. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to check for doubling on the letters of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date. If you see something unusual, you could be holding a coin worth thousands, maybe even millions, depending on condition. Another key factor is grade. Condition is king in the coin world. A penny that has been in circulation, scratched up, and worn down will not fetch anywhere near the same value as one that looks freshly minted. That is why coin collectors use grading scales from 1 to 70, with mint state 70 being absolutely perfect. The $7.9 million penny is at the very top of that scale, which is why it commands such a staggering price. Now let's talk about the psychology of this. Part of the reason collectors are willing to pay millions for a coin like this is because of rarity combined with demand. There might only be one or two examples known of this variety in perfect condition, which makes it essentially priceless to those who want to own the best of the best. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even museums will bid aggressively to secure such a piece. And every time a new record is set, it inspires everyday people to start checking their change more carefully. This is the fascinating world of numismatics. It is not just about money, but about history, art, and rarity. Each coin tells a story, and the 1980 Lincoln cent that sold for $7.9 million is a story of patience, luck, and the thrill of discovery. Someone went from having a penny worth 1 cent to holding a treasure worth more than a lifetime of wages, all because they paid attention. So here is the big takeaway for you. Never overlook your change. Never assume that pennies are worthless. Every coin you touch has the potential to be something extraordinary. Check your dates, look for errors, examine condition, and who knows, maybe the next millionaire coin is sitting in your wallet or purse right now. The Lincoln cent has been surprising us for over a century, and it looks like it will continue to do so. From the 1909 VDB to the 1955 double die to the shocking 1980 discovery, these coins have proven that small things can have massive value. And the story is far from over. Thank you for watching this incredible journey into the world of pennies, riches, and hidden treasures. If you enjoyed this story and want more updates on rare coins, valuable finds, and ways to spot treasure in your pocket change, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with anyone who loves the idea of getting rich overnight from something as simple as a penny. Until next time, keep checking your change, keep your eyes open, and remember, the next $1 million penny could be in your hand right now. Welcome back everyone to the channel where we dive deep into the world of coins, treasures, and the incredible stories behind small pieces of metal that can literally change your life. Today's video is going to be absolutely mind-blowing because we're talking about one of the most fascinating and unbelievable finds in US coin history, the 1964 Lincoln cent, a penny that was minted to be spent like pocket change but somehow, some way, has become worth millions of dollars. That's right, a single 1-cent coin, something you could easily walk past on the sidewalk without thinking twice, has been valued in today's market at nearly $2.9 million. This isn't just loose change, it's life-changing money. Now let's set the stage. The Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For decades it was one of the most common coins in circulation. Billions were made, and almost everyone in America has held one in their hand. But here's the catch: sometimes mistakes happen at the mint, sometimes unusual variations slip through, and sometimes, a perfectly normal coin ends up being anything but normal because of when, how, or in what way it was struck. And in the world of numismatics, those small differences can add up to jaw-dropping values. So why is the 1964 Lincoln penny such a big deal? Well, let's remember the context. The early 1960s were a time of massive coin production. Silver shortages were looming, the mint was pumping out billions of coins to keep up with demand, and yet within that flood of copper cents, certain rarities were born. A handful of 1964 Lincoln cents are believed to have been struck under extraordinary circumstances. Some were proof strikes that weren't supposed to leave the mint, others have unusual features or minting errors, and a select few have survived in such pristine condition that collectors would do anything to own them. And when I say anything, I mean paying millions of dollars for what appears to be just an everyday penny. Imagine this. You're digging through your change jar, maybe searching through an old coffee can of coins that's been sitting in your garage for decades. You pull out a dull brown penny, look closer at the date, and it says 1964. At first, you don't think much of it. After all, 1964 pennies were minted by the billions. But then you notice something unusual about it. The strike looks sharper, the details are almost mirror-like, the coin barely has any wear, and the edges are crisp. Suddenly, your heart races, because if you've stumbled onto one of those rare 1964 proof or error strikes that should never have been released, you might not just be holding a penny, you could be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure. That's exactly what happened with one lucky collector. When their 1964 Lincoln cent went up for auction, the bidding war was nothing short of legendary. Numismatists from around the world wanted to own a piece of history, something so rare that only a tiny number exist in the entire world. And by the time the hammer dropped, that 1-cent coin had sold for nearly $2.9 million. Just think about that for a second. $2.9 million for a penny. That's the kind of money that pays off your mortgage, buys your dream house, sets you up for life, and then some. Overnight, that penny transformed from pocket change into a fortune. Now you might be wondering, how in the world can you tell if your 1964 penny is one of the rare ones? Here's what collectors look for. First, condition is everything. Coins that are in mint state, especially those graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are worth dramatically more than coins that have been circulated. If you find a 1964 penny with a brilliant, almost reflective surface that looks like a proof coin, it's worth having it checked out. Second, errors and varieties matter. Double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck with proof dies intended only for collectors can command massive premiums. And finally, provenance and rarity seal the deal. If only a few coins exist, collectors will pay whatever it takes to own them, but here's the kicker: most people overlook pennies. They'll toss them in jars, leave them on the ground, or never think twice about the year stamped on them. Yet, that one small detail, the date 1964, could make all the difference between just another coin and the chance of a lifetime. And that's why it pays, literally, to keep your eyes open. Because as unbelievable as it sounds, something as ordinary as a penny can make you rich overnight. Think about it, $2.9 million from a coin that costs less than a stick of gum. It's a story that proves treasure is still out there, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone who takes the time to look a little closer. And maybe, just maybe, that someone could be you. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you get change back at the store, don't just shove it in your pocket without looking. Take a second, glance at the dates, check for unusual details, and remember that history is hidden in your hand. The 1964 Lincoln penny might be rare, but stories like this show that incredible finds do happen. And if a coin like that can turn one collector into a millionaire, who's to say it couldn't happen again? Before we wrap up, let's put it in perspective. If you had 1 million 1964 pennies, the face value would be just $10,000. But if even one of them was the legendary $2.9 million penny, that changes everything. Suddenly that ordinary collection becomes the stuff of dreams. And that's what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It's a mix of history, chance, and the thrill of the hunt. So keep your eyes sharp, your mind curious, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Because in the end, that tiny copper coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about more rare coins that could still be hiding in circulation, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. Who knows, your next big treasure might be sitting in your change right now. Thanks for watching, and remember, treasure is everywhere, even in the palm of your hand.